It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for The Walking Dead World Beyond. This video goes beyond just World Beyond, no pun intended, and this topic is something that's going to be very much at the center of The Walking Dead movies. And it's going to be the main story, I think, for that movie that we're going to see later on in the future. It's something that they've actually teased at before on The Walking Dead's original show. In this video, we're going to explain what they actually showed us at the end of Season 1, Episode 4 of The Walking Dead World Beyond in the after credits when it comes to the CRM's intentions and what they are doing in those research facilities that they talked about. The exact same research facility that Hope and Iris's father was taken to. And this actually connects back to the CRM's A and B classification system. And this snippet of scene that we saw at the end of this episode of World Beyond confirms what A and B is. And it's actually pretty dark and twisted. Now, it's not shocking, but it is twisted. And the reason I'm saying it's not shocking, it's because everyone expected it to be what it was. Everyone predicted it. So it's not like it's anything that we didn't know or anything that's revealed to us out of the blue. But with that said, I'm glad that we're finally getting this reveal. Even though it's not shocking, I'm glad that they revealed it to us. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining what that scene was that was at the end of Season 1, Episode 4 of World Beyond in the after credits. And I'm also going to talk about, like I said, how it connects back to what they teased in the original show, and also how it connects to what's going to be coming up in the Walking Dead movies, and how it connects back to Rick Grimes and all of that. So with that said, let's dive right into it. So in the after credits, we actually see this shot of one of the CRM scientists turning on this recorder. Now what's interesting is that they have a tattoo of the CRM logo on their hand. So that's extremely interesting. And then we have this shot of them flipping through a few pages on a clipboard. And I'm assuming this clipboard is different test subjects that they have, which goes back to what she actually says, the scientist. She says test subject A402. Now, the A part obviously goes back to the A and B classification. We still don't know what it is. Like, what is A, what is B? We will know by the end of this teaser that they showed us in the after credits, which I'm going to go through. But 402 obviously is just a number. This is test subject 402 from the A classification system that they have. And then we have this shot of what I'm assuming is the team of scientists that are working in this facility. If you notice, one of them is Dr. Leo Bennett, Iris and Hope's father. The other one, the female, is the female that we actually see in this teaser, who's doing the experiments or coordinating these experiments. But take a look at the other scientist to the far right of this picture frame. Then we have this shot of one of the test subjects, test subject 402. If he looks familiar, there's a reason for that. I'll explain that in a minute. But in the voiceover, she says, test subject displayed no detectable responses to psychological stimuli. Obviously, they're doing some experiments. They're conducting some sort of a controlled experiment on these walkers and seeing how they react to different environments, different scenarios. Then we have this shot of the walker that we just saw. We have this shot which shows that this walker right here was bit, or this test subject was bit in the stomach or in the abdomen area. But in the voiceover, the scientist continues on to say, narcotic plasma and brain fluid are being drawn for further testing. So they're taking samples from these walkers to do tests on them, and we get this shot of the walker. Remember the scientist to the far right that I mentioned? That's him. So there you go. This reveals a lot to us, and it explains why the CRM is as secretive as they are, or one of the reasons why. So it's not just that they're doing experiments, they're conducting experiments with test subjects of their own. And I'll explain what I mean by that. This goes back to the A and B classification. This scientist that was in the picture frame to the far right died. I'm assuming of unnatural causes. They had one of the walkers bite him so that they could do an experiment on him. And this goes back to the A and B classification. He was test subject A, 402. So he's classified as an A. What does being classified as an A mean? Being classified as an A means that it's someone who is just bit. Now at this point, they still haven't verified what B is, but I think we could kind of put two and two together at this point. But this is a pretty dark and twisted way to experiment. And it's even more twisted that his colleague, the other female scientist, is actually doing the experiment on him or coordinating it. So that's extremely kind of dark and twisted. But going back to the A and B, obviously, like I said, A means someone who's just bit. And I think B means someone who can be an asset to the CRM, either as a strong soldier, as a scientist, or as someone who could fill up an important role that they have at the CRM. If you remember, Rick was classified as a B. Well, originally, Jadis wanted to trade Rick as an A. And then she said, I never had an A, I have a B. So the CRM showed up thinking that they're going to get a freshly bitten person so that they could do experiments on him. But obviously Jadis didn't have an A. Jadis saved Rick. And Rick, in Jadis's eyes, could be an asset to the CRM because he was strong. But in the voiceover, the scientist goes on to say results to be compared to test during and immediately following reanimation. There's a typo there, but this basically means that they're going to compare the results of what they're doing, like the samples they've taken and the experiments that they've done, to the samples and the experiments before the test subject reanimated. So at this point, I think it's pretty obvious that their test involves doing these experiments to a person, a test subject, and then having them be bit, and then doing the experiments again when they reanimate. So that's extremely dark and twisted, and it's very interesting to think about in terms of the movie, because obviously this is going to be the subject of the movie. Then we have this shot of the walker again, or the test subject, and then this shot of the scientist. She says, tomorrow we'll begin the climate variation tests as scheduled. So they're gonna manipulate the climate in order to see if it affects the way the walkers are and the way they act. So in cold climates, warm climates, and so on. And then we have this shot of the test subject again, and then in the voiceover, the scientist says again, this is test subject A402, known in Mike as Dr. Samuel Abbott of Portland, Oregon. And then that's another big reveal. So not only is this one of their scientists, Dr. Samuel Abbott, but he's from Portland, Oregon. What do we know about Portland? Portland, Omaha, CRM. Remember that from the pilot? So Dr. Samuel Abbott was from the Portland, Oregon colony. Just like Dr. Leo Bennett is from the Omaha colony. Does this mean that this fate awaits Dr. Leo Bennett, Iris and Hope's father? That's a possibility. But then we get this shot of a bunch of test subjects that they have. So it's not just this guy. There's a bunch of people out there that they're doing experiments on. And there's people with hazmat suits walking around, checking up on them and so on. And then this shot of different test subjects again. And it also seems like these may also be marks on them, like branding. Some of them don't look like bites on the bodies, but I could be wrong about that. We just see a bunch of test subjects again, and then this shot of the scientist again saying, thank you, bring out the next TS please. TS means test subject, and the next test subject, for all we know, could be Dr. Leo Bennett. In the voiceover, she says test subject A403, so the next subject in the A category. So it could be one of the other scientists, either Dr. Leo Bennett or the other guy to the far left. But that's pretty much it. That was everything that was in this teaser. In the after credits, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below about everything that we just talked about. and share what you think, what your theories are, how everything is going to come together in the movies, and so on. If you enjoyed what you saw, make sure to share and smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.